Does GigSky actually work on a cruise? I've tested it on a few different sailings, and it didn't always work the way I expected. I'm going to show you what worked, what didn't, and when I would actually use it. Hi, welcome back to Bon Voyage Cruise and Travel. I'm Bonnie, and after more than 55 cruises and visits to over 78 countries, I like sharing what actually works on a trip so you can have the best cruise experience. And staying connected at sea is one of those things that can be more confusing than it sounds. If you're looking for a plan to keep in touch with family and you don't want to pay for the full ship Wi-Fi package, GigSky is one option. It is basically an eSIM data plan, which means you download it to your phone instead of using a physical SIM card. And it can work at sea and in port depending on the plan that you choose.
Next stop, San Francisco Cruise Terminal. I'll be taking you there.
Sounds good. Quick tip here. I tried to install this while we were driving to the cruise, and it didn't work very well. I didn't realize you really need a stable Wi-Fi connection to set it up. So I ended up using a hotspot, and that got a little complicated. If you're flying into your cruise, you can usually set this up at the airport since you will have Wi-Fi there. But if you're driving to your cruise like I was, you may not have a reliable connection along the way. So I would definitely recommend installing this at home before you leave. That will make things much easier for you. The very first time I tried GigSky was on the Ruby Princess from San Francisco to Vancouver and Alaska. And honestly, it was a bit confusing. I didn't really understand how to switch between Wi-Fi and data, and I didn't always get a connection when I expected to. It is not a full replacement for cruise Wi-Fi. It's somewhere in the middle. I did have a few frustrating moments because when I travel, I always like to keep in touch with my family, and sometimes I couldn't connect. But overall, the experience was fairly good. When I was on the Ruby Princess at the time, I wasn't sure if it was the ship's Wi-Fi because they kept making announcements, or was it GigSky the app and we were too close to land? I couldn't tell. I mean, I feel like I'm tech savvy enough. It's a little confusing, I have to admit. But I think eSIMs in general are confusing. So I've been on board the Ruby Princess to Alaska, and I bought a plan that was just for sea only. And this has been an interesting experience because the Wi-Fi on the ship hasn't been that great to begin with, and they keep mentioning that in a lot of their paperwork, how to be patient for the internet and whatnot. So I can't say this is a true test. It has been working for my texts, and it has been working intermittently for my email, but to get on to internet, it's been sporadic. I feel like sometimes the medallion net is blocking out this. So I did just do a text to my daughter. I said, hey, and it went through. Once your eSIM is set up, your phone has two connections, your regular carrier and your GigSky. And depending on what you're doing, you may need to switch between ship Wi-Fi and your data. For example, if I want to use the ship's app, I would switch to the ship Wi-Fi and I would switch off the data. And if I wanted to use data, I would switch off the Wi-Fi and I could switch back to GigSky, the data plan. So just know that the Princess Wi-Fi is stronger, and it costs probably about $30 a day, whereas this was $30 for the week. I was able to send a photo and open an email. It works better maybe mid-ocean than near the port. 1 gigabyte is enough for light browsing. It's a good option if you want light, affordable internet. And you can try this through the description down below. I do have a free, very light megabyte, download it free, or you can try some of this for yourself. It could work better in the Caribbean versus Alaska. It could work better in Hawaii. I don't know. And it's an alternative to not having your email piling up when you get home. So I like that. And like I said, it helped me with my Duolingo game. Just to mention, this video is not sponsored. This is just my personal experience testing GigSky on a few different cruises. So after the first experience, I realized I needed to understand how this actually works a little better. And this is what I learned. It's an eSIM that's good for land and cruising. Going to save you a ton of money if you want to just check your email and you want to do texting to your family. I'm sitting here connecting it in the Barcelona port here. Everybody else is checking in, but I'm trying to get this going. But anyway, I have it going and we'll see if it works. I just started to use it. And basically, you see how my phone shows LTE? That means that it's data. But see how it'll say here, GigSky, and you're not on airplane mode, you're off of Wi-Fi. And you put your phone on cellular data, you turn off your personal line, and then you use this. So you're going between Wi-Fi on the ship for their app, for the activities, and then you have the data for the phone. And it works semi-okay. I mean, it's for light use, but I've been using that since I left Barcelona. So I bought the Land Sea World package, and so far it's cost about $70, and I have been able to pretty much have Wi-Fi every day. There was a couple of days where it wasn't working, and I think I used up it's only like 1 gigabyte, so it's basically if you have a game like Duolingo, or you can look at your email, you can keep texts. So I correspond with my husband and my kids, see what's going on. So you keep in touch, but it's not going to cost you a fortune. As far as any sending photos or videos or downloading or using Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or anything like that, you really can't do that. It's strictly for keeping in touch. And they do have a promotion if you have a Visa card, a certain kind of Visa card, you can get a free trial. And it's helpful if you land in a foreign country, say, and you need phone service for maps, or you need to order an Uber or something. It is helpful for that. I wouldn't say I'm 100% satisfied. I mean, it's hard to get a hold of their customer service, and they seem like they send generic responses. It's almost like AI related things, but overall, if you can figure out how to switch between data and Wi-Fi, it's a little tricky. It certainly is better than nothing. And I've been gone for 18 days now, I think it is, and so I've been using it. On the ship, I think it's like $27 a day. But of course, you have better access to things. So sometimes they're in competition, and you have to turn off one to turn on another. But it's been interesting. It is not completely automatic. I did find I had to turn Wi-Fi on and off occasionally to get a connection. For me, it worked best on sea days when we were further from land and I just needed to check messages or my email. It's not designed for streaming, uploading videos, or constant use. You'll probably find it frustrating if that's what you need it for. If you're expecting it to be like Wi-Fi at home, it probably won't be like that. I think it is a good option if you just want a basic connection to stay in touch, or as a backup if you don't want to pay the full Wi-Fi package on a daily basis. For me, GigSky was helpful in certain situations, but it's not a full replacement for cruise Wi-Fi. It really depends on how you plan to use your phone. If you're curious, I've linked GigSky below so you can take a look. There is also a QR code that you can scan as well. And I'll be testing it again on my next cruise. So thank you so much for tuning in and learning about this new thing I've never heard of before, but apparently it's growing on the cruise ship spectrum. GigSky. Check it out, see if you like it. Let me know in the comments if you've tried it or what do you use. I do Airalo, I've done Olafly, but none of that works on a ship. So this is why I chose this, for something different. So if you have found this helpful or you learned something, hit that like button. Subscribe for more future videos on cruises and cruise tips. Thank you so much for watching. It's been my pleasure letting you know about this. Happy cruising, and until next time.